the entire casting process from the beginning to the end and will guide the flow of this lecture. Okay. Anyone ever heard about casting before? Maybe Nicholas, Ahmed, or Rio?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard before? Or you uh, do some casting by yourself? Maybe?
No, I just hear it.
Okay. Okay. So, as you can see, casting is a process in which molten metal flows by gravity or other force into a mold where it solidifies in the shape of the mold cavity. So, uh, as you can see um, on the explanation about casting, casting is a manufacturing process where molten metal is poured into a mold and solidify into desired shape based on the shape of the mold. This slide explain that while the steps seem simple, melting, pouring, and maybe we can uh, call solidifying as freezing, yeah. Melting, pouring, freezing. So casting actually involves many technical consideration. Melting, pouring, freezing. It is important to remember that the term casting refers not only to the process itself, but also to the final product. So we call the final product is a casting product. So casting is not only the process, but the product itself, the final product itself, we can call it the casting product. So uh, both of the process and the product we call it have same name, casting. So okay, uh now in this slide we see the capabilities and advantages of casting, and the next slide we will talk about disadvantages of casting process. So what are the capabilities and the advantages when we shape the material using casting process? So casting actually offers several unique advantages. Yeah. So by using casting method, it allows the production of complex geometries, both external and internal. And some methods can create parts with final dimension and create both in external. Sorry, some casting process are net shape, others are near net shape. Casting can produce very large components such as engine blocks, and certain methods are suitable for high volume production. So by using casting and all of its capabilities and advantages of the method, this makes casting versatile and widely applicable across industries. So these are the capabilities and the advantages of using casting methods. And how about disadvantages of casting? So different disadvantages for different casting processes. So despite its advantages, casting also has trade-offs or drawbacks. So mechanical properties, it's usually may be limited compared to other manufacturing methods, and usually the accuracy of dimensional and surface finish maybe have a poor quality. So the accuracy of dimensional accuracy and surface finish, it's very poor, have very poor quality. especially when you use the type of one of the type of casting. If I'm not mistaken, it's sand casting. Yeah, when we use sand casting, the surface quality it's usually very poor. So the process also poses safety risks to workers due to handling molten metals, and there can be environmental concerns related to emission and waste. Okay, so the previous two slides explain about the capabilities, advantages, and the disadvantages of using casting methods. So, uh, one of the steps when we use casting methods, there are three steps. We molten the material and then pouring the molten metal or material, and then it's freezing or solidify. So, uh, how is solidification processes? In this slide, it's explained that casting belongs to a broader family of processes where materials are shaped by solidification, and the starting material is molten, either liquid or highly plastic. And solidification applies not only to metals but also to some ceramics, yeah, like glass and polymers. And this classification shows how casting is part of a larger framework of manufacturing technologies. So as you can see, solidification process can be classified according to engineering material process is metals, ceramics, and polymers. So maybe you ever heard this from material science and engineering. Yeah, three types of um, when we classify polymers. Yeah, when we classify polymers. Sorry, not polymers. When we classify um, hybrid material, yeah, hybrid material and hybrid material or composite, we classify based on its metrics. So the composite is classified into three based on its metrics: metals, ceramics, and polymers. Okay, so uh, in this figure, this diagram illustrates how different materials, we can see metal, ceramics, and polymers, they are shaped through solidification. And you probably you can note that although casting is often associated with metals, similar principles apply in glassmaking, yeah, or plastic molding. Maybe you ever use you have Gundam. Yeah, it's they use casting method to they use plastic molding, yeah, sorry, molding plastic molding technique to produce toys. Okay, and next okay, uh next slide. We talk about parts that made by casting. So casting can produce both very large and very small parts. For example, a large casting include engine blocks, machine frames, railway wheels, and so on. And all metals, whether like steel and uh, iron, yeah, ferrous material, steel or iron, and non-ferrous, aluminium, copper, it's available to cast. So it can be cast. any of that material I mentioned before, yeah. So ferrous, steel, iron, non-ferrous, aluminum, copper can be cast. This diversity demonstrates casting's wide industrial relevance. Okay, so next to overview of casting technology. Casting is usually performed in a foundry. A foundry is a specialized facility where molds are made, metals are melted, poured, and finished. The work, the workers who carry out these tasks are called foundrymen. This emphasizes that casting is not just a technique, but an entire industry with dedicated infrastructure. Okay, maybe we move on the mold in casting. So the mold, or in Indonesia we call it cetakan, ya, cetakan. The mold defines the final shape of the casting. Yeah, since metals shrink during cooling, molds must be slightly oversized. Molds can be made of sand, plaster, ceramics, or metals, depending on the casting method. So in this slide, it had it this slide highlights the critical role of mold design in achieving accurate final products. Although uh, in the previous slide, we I already said that the final product of casting method is usually have a very poor surface quality. But if we use some material, for example, for molding, for example, we use metal, the surface will be smooth. Yeah, the surface compared to when we use sand as a molding material. Okay, so if we talk about mold, we have two type of mold. As you can see, A and B. So these pictures are open and closed molds. This picture compares comparison between open and closed molds. As you can see, an open mold is simply a cavity exposed at the top, while a closed mold use a gating system to guide molten metal into more complex cavities. So this is a gating. Uh, wait. Okay, so this is a gating system. Yeah, this we call this a gating system, and this gating system will guide the molten metal into more complex shapes. This is the desired final product of molten. Oh, sorry, of casting method. Yeah, this is the final product. So these are, we call this gating system for guidance. So mass industrial casting use closed molds. Most of industrial manufacturing industrial, they use closed molds to control metal flow and achieve complex shapes. Okay. Next on, two categories of casting processes. So, casting methods are grouped into two categories. One is expandable mold processes, and second one is permanent mold processes. As you can see of the explanation of expandable molds, for example, when we use sand or plaster as a molding material, so expandable molds are destroyed after its use. So after we get the final product of casting method, when we use expandable molding process, if we want to get the final product, we have to destroy. Yeah, we have to break the mold so we can get the final product. So we call it expandable molds. It's because when we use sand, we cannot open it and 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 the we cannot open and get the material. We have to destroy. We have to break the molds that cover the final product. So it need to destroy after its use. On the other hand, permanent molds uh, made of the material of the molding are made of metal or ceramics, so it can be reused many times. So each of these techniques unique application and have has a unique application and limitation. Okay. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Expandable molds can produce very intricate geometries, but they are destroyed after its casting. So the time consumed and the cost of production of the molds, it's have a different. We have to consider it. Yeah, we have to consider it that we have extra expenses on time and cost to produce the molds. Uh, and for permanent molds, the advantages are reusable, making it economical in high production environments, but they limit the shapes that can be produced since the mold must be able to open and close. Okay, okay, this is the illustration of sun casting mold. This picture illustrates a sand casting mold, one of the most widely used casting methods. So you can focus on the mold structure. You can see the cavity, the gating system. Yes, the cavity. These are the cavity, the gating system. And the sand casting method is very versatile and inexpensive, making these methods is a very common choice for prototypes and large parts. You can see maybe small medium enterprises, yeah, many small medium enterprises use these methods because it's very cheap and it can mold it can cast very complex geometry. So many small medium enterprise use this method to produce their uh, products. Okay, so we will talk about terms that use in sand casting mold. The mold has two halves, the cup top and the drag bottom. As you can see, we divide the mold into two parts. The top one is we call it the cup, and the bottom we call it the drag. Yes, it's contained with a flask. So the parting line is where the two halves meet. This parting line, uh, is where the two halves meet. These terms are fundamental to understanding that mold design and how parts are removed from molds. Okay, so um, the mold cavity is shaped using a pattern. So the mold cavity is shaped using a pattern which is slightly oversized to account for shrink edge. To account for shrink edge, yeah. For shrink edge, patterns are typically made of wood We can use plastic or you can use metal to create the cavity, and the sand is packed around the pattern and held together with moisture and binders. So this step determines the accuracy of the final part. And for the use of a core in the mold cavity, cores are used to create internal geometries within casting, such as holes or hollow section. And in sand casting, cores are also made of sand, but designed to withstand molten metal. Without cores, only external shapes could be formed. Okay. Next, we move to a gating system. In this gating system, it's a channel through which molten metal flows into cavity from outside of mold. So it typically includes a pouring cup, a down sprue, and runners. Maybe you can see a gating system. It's consists of includes a pouring cup, down sprue, and runners. Um, this one, yeah. So, the we call this part is a pouring cup, down sprue, and runner. And runner. Runner um, is a guidance, yeah, guidance way to the cavity of molding, the cavity of the molding. Hey, next is a riser. Riser acts as a reservoir of molten metal. As the casting solidifies and shrinks, the riser supplies additional liquid metal to prevent voids or cavities. And for its effectiveness, the riser must solidify after the main casting. So next, how about heating the metal? So, when we heating the metal before pouring, metal must be melted into furnaces, and the required heat includes raising the metal to its melting point. So it's necessarily to make sure that the metal is either in liquid state or in plastic, in plastic in plastic state, yeah, in plastic state. So uh, when we raise the metal to its melting point, the heat of fusion to change space and additional heat to achieve a proper pouring temperature. Controlling this ensures smooth processing. So after we heat it, the metal, next we will pouring the molten metal into the cavity. So successfully pouring requires that the molten metal completely fills the mold before solidification begins. And there are some factors influencing success include pouring temperature, pouring rate, turbulence. Improper pouring can lead to defects such as misruns or cold shoots. Okay. Okay. Maybe that's I can give you about casting. We will talk about casting part 2 in next meeting. Okay. For your presence, I will present using my Siado, so you don't have to uh, check your Siam. Okay, is everything clear?
Clear, Pak.
Okay. Did I give you? Did I give you assignment to do at home? Not yet? Okay. Okay, I will prepare it, uh, the assignment and will inform you as soon as possible, Fadel. Okay?
Oke, Pak.
Okay, thank you. We'll end up this meeting. Thank you for joining. Uh, Good morning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi
Thank you, Pak.
Thank you, Pak.